Right. Okay, y'all. Well, 2021 had a lot going on. This year was full of big events and news headlines. We had 3 6 Mafia and Bone got into a fight on Versus.
Ooh,
Oprah got in the royal family's business with Meghan
ooh.
and Harry. Jeff Bezos took us to space. Period. Facebook and Twitter banned Trump. We free Britney, y'all. We free Britney. That's my girl.
Yeah.
Even Kim K requested she be free from her marriage to Ye. But I want to know from you guys, what are some of your favorite or most memorable moments or just big headlines of 2021? Now, I want to be the first to start.
Okay.
So for me, I'm just going to say it was Danny Lay and the baby. This was just a really big headline that I feel like touched me as a mom, and I did not like it. And I just felt like, us moms, we go through a lot just being a mom already. And then first time moms, we go through the most because we don't even know what we're doing. We need help. Like I told you, it takes a whole village. And, we go through postpartum and things like that. So, you guys got to meet Danny Lay that time when I wasn't here. And I just wanted to send all my love to her, my girl.
Aw.
Yeah, no, to piggyback off of that, postpartum is real.
Mhm.
I was there with my mom. She had 7 kids. I was there at the hospital with her before and after. And I don't think people realize how much of a toll it takes on a woman
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
bring new life into this world. You don't just pop out a baby. That baby been in your stomach for 9 months. And then when the baby come out, you got to get back to the new reality. So I just think of that whole Danny and the baby situation was unfortunate because of
Mhm.
course people argue and they fuss and they all go through whatever they're going through, but it should never be broadcasted like that on social media.
Right.
And as men, we got to make sure we do better, even especially for new moms, because like you said, postpartum is real. We got to be 10 times stronger, even for the woman, to make sure we're taking care of them the right way.
That
Facts.
part.
I
You
agree.
said it.
Well, for me, it was definitely Facebook becoming meta because it was kind of crazy to see, especially since like I grew up on Facebook and I just remember being on it. So when they said that they were going to change the name, kind of like the Staples Center being changed from Staples Center, which I remember seeing my whole life, to crypto, right? Crypto.com or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then also too, Jussie Smollett being found guilty, one of the biggest hate crime hoaxes that I've ever seen.
I'm crying.
That was crazy to me because it seemed like it had been going on for like two years almost. So
Yeah.
for him to be found guilty was very shocking to me.
I want to talk about that for a moment, the Jussie Smollett situation, because he's such a talented artist, and it's really unfortunate that he got caught up in this. And I think that even though, he was found guilty, we don't know if he did it or not. I still think that we all make mistakes, and I don't want all of us to cut him off, because as a young Black man, it's so easy to be, turned away and cut off, and, to not give him a second chance. So I definitely want to see, him come back together. And he has a movie that he just directed. I think it was called B-Boy Blues, that I heard it was really good. So, we giving this love and light to Mr. Smollett. Love and light to Mr. Smollett.
You know
Sure.
what? In 2022, I feel like we should cancel culture because it's
Hey,
just not real.
hey, come on. There we
I
go.
like that. But on the topic of getting a second chance, I really wish that George Floyd would have gotten a second chance at life. So I think one of the most important headlines that we can't forget was Derek Chauvin being found guilty for murdering him. And the reason I feel like this is important because it shows the power of the Black community. It shows the power of social media, and that when we all come together, we really can make change and get justice for someone who can't get justice for themselves.
Yeah, justice has to be served when it's supposed to be served. It's that simple in every case.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that out of everything that happened this year, there was certain things that took place for me on January that it felt like a lifetime ago, but I really wanted to highlight the January 6th insurrection that happened at the Capitol. Like, a lot of people want us to forget about it, and we know who those people are, what kind of people those are, but it's important that we don't. And I think that it's really sad of what happened and how so many people are not held accountable, and how Trump is still out here being free, and how he had all of his followers, quote unquote followers, come and take over the Capitol. So, I definitely want to bring that up. That was wild when that came. Like, I was filming a movie in Atlanta, and like on the breaks, everybody was on their phones, and I was like, what's going on? And I saw like literally people storming the Capitol. It didn't even seem real to me. Like I couldn't even believe this was happening in America. So definitely that was a huge moment for me in 2021.
Yeah, isn't it crazy though? Because we got to realize that we all aren't equal. Unfortunately, they tell us that we're equal and that every human is the same. But when things like this happen, you realize that we aren't equal. So even with that being said, it's like you have to raise your children and your kids a certain way nowadays in this world, because you may want to teach a kid to have that mindset of anything's possible and we're all equal. But at the end of the day, we're not. And we've seen a lot of that in this past year. So I think honestly, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because we see how much more work needs to truly be done. And I think that puts more pressure on this younger generation, AKA us, Gen Z and the millennials, to do our part and to do it even better and be stronger. And we know what we have to tackle even more.
Could y'all imagine if it was just all Black people that stormed the Capitol? What would happen to the
we would still be talking about that today.
Right.
We're talking about it today. Everybody would have been shot. Everybody would have been
I was
killed.
gonna say you would see body bag on body bag on body
bag.
Yeah, and then even what you was talking about, Tom, with the Jussie thing, it's like we get that, it's a terrible situation to be in, but there's people committing worse crimes out there in the world that justice hasn't been dealt with.
Like
so I
understand.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Not guilty, even though he went to a protest looking to basically kill someone. He was still found not guilty, and it was self-defense. And now he's doing podcasts about it and taking pictures with Trump.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
He's celebrated. They celebrate him like he's a hero.
Yeah, he's an American hero. They definitely.
But that's what I love about this show, The Mix. We get to talk about what we want to talk about, and we're gonna celebrate who we want to celebrate. Yeah. We always gonna celebrate the people who should be celebrated. That's what we doing here on The Mix, for real.
But one of the biggest news stories of 2021 that I happened to attend was the infamous Astroworld festival that was put on by Travis Scott. So the latest on that story is that Travis has been losing a lot of sponsors. Most recently, Anheuser-Busch Company, I'm guessing that's a beer, has scrapped the production and sale of Scott's hard seltzer line, Cacti, and others like Nike have postponed their collaborative sneaker deal with Travis indefinitely. So Travis had his first interview since Astroworld with Charlemagne, but many felt that it only made things worse. And the families of the victims were also very upset with the interview, saying that they were offended by Travis's attempt to paint himself as a victim. So did you guys see the interview, and do you guys think that Travis can come back from this and be as big as he was before?
I did watch the interview, and I got an interesting tone from him. I didn't really get the tone of, I'm deeply apologetic. I can't believe this happened to these victims. This should have never have happened. I got more so of the tone that it was, I feel bad for myself, which victims don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear that you are so sorry. And so I don't know if that's naturally how he is, but I think it did make the situation worse. It did seem as though he put himself in a deeper grave after that interview.
I was gonna say, I definitely agree with you, Anton. I feel like the interview wasn't maybe the best thing to do, but I also feel in ways for Travis because, as an artist, I just know how it is on the stage and how tunnel vision you are up there, how you really, you don't really hear or know or is focused on anything but the show. But for Travis, it was his concert. So for me, I just felt like he should have taken more responsibility in the interview, because even though, maybe some things weren't his fault, it's his concert. So, when you are the top dog, you have to be apologetic, take responsibility. And maybe he could have went and visited the people instead of doing the interview. I don't really know. Maybe something other than.
Yeah, I think with the Travis situation, it's going to be a great learning point for the younger generation, even the next artists, because even business wise, what you realize, and I was talking to somebody about this before I even went on stage there. I'm like, how could one person, it was amazing to me that this was his festival, because I've been to Coachella and other festivals, but there's never one artist behind it, something that big. So even in the future, you got to realize if your name is on something, no matter if you know everything that's going on or not, you want to make sure you're in the know of from the security, from what happens if somebody is injured, from X, Y, and Z. Like, you got to be up on your game, because when it's your name, we already know when it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad. And this is definitely a learning example for other artists out there. And I think it's going to make concerts and festivals a lot more safer. It's just unfortunate he had to be the fall guy. But like you guys say, even with the interview, everybody's different. You know, everybody, they grieve differently, and we're all different, but it's an unfortunate situation for everybody.
You know, I read that Coachella took him off of the lineup, and that he offered to perform for free, and they still declined him performing. So when you offer to perform for free and they still say no, you know things are bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that though, do you guys feel like this is something that he could come back from? I feel like it's going to take a while, but I feel like he can still come from this.
Well, with that being said, look, we're going to jump into it when we come back. We got to take a quick break, but we have more of the best of 2021 when we come back right here, only on The Mix on FOXSOUL, baby.